just reaching for a piece of you.
Hey guys, I'm Tony Moore from Killer Drums TV. This is an awesome little segment that we call Gear, Gear, Gear. And we're in the place of gear, which is Mooloolaba Music. And I've come down, Jackie's invited me down to check out some new stuff. So check this out and welcome Jackie Barnes. Woo! Check this out. We are talking about A&F Drums. A&F. Jackie, tell us about A&F Drums.
A&F Drum Co., one of the coolest brands going at the moment. Super unique drums. They're completely handmade in Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas.
Everything down to the metal components. So
yeah,
all
now
the
these are
hardware's
beautiful.
made in-house.
So who is A&F?
Rami Antoon and family.
Rami.
So Antoon and family Drum Co. Rami's, I've been talking to him for a number of years now. He's great. He's awesome. He's
This
such
is
a vibe.
beautiful, and he's a great player.
Yeah.
He's played with some really awesome guys.
Yeah. Pat Benatar.
Yeah. Seal.
The dude from
Live.
Ed.
Ed.
Kolchek.
Yeah. Sweet. He's played with heaps of people. He's got a really deep pocket in the way he plays, and it kind of translates to this kind of sound, doesn't it?
They just suit these drums perfectly. I mean, I'm sure if you've seen this brand, you've seen his videos on YouTube and social media.
So we'll put a link down here to A&F Drums, so you can go and check out his website. Let's start with this one, hey. We'll get to this awesome kit, if you can check out this kit for a minute, and if you can turn your eyes off it, come and have a look at this one. This is a pretty special drum. Now, this is solid brass, and it looks like it's been patinaed.
Yep.
It's got these lovely little brass rings.
Yep. So it's raw brass hardware.
Yep.
So it's designed so it's going to age, it's going to patina, it's going to get gnarly looking.
Yeah, and it just, like, actually one of the things I like is that I love touching the stuff.
Yeah.
And this kind of drum, the more you touch it, the cooler it looks.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, this is awesome.
Yeah.
This
And
is
then
like
the
something
little things like the leather
underneath.
the badge and your lugs, and the washers and all that sort of stuff. It just kind of, it suits that style. I mean, and everything is, he sources local. He likes to use local artisans, which I really dig that. I love that he's making his own lugs and making his own hardware.
Cool. And the solid brass actually amplifies the tone of the shell.
It just works. And they're just really inspiring drums to play. This particular finish, the Chandler Blue, is just phenomenal. Chandler Blue. So Rami's inspiration for this, I believe, was an old Riviera boat, and that's, that kind of color with the brass hardware, and also the wood, which is teak. So these are a teak shell.
Now this is super thin. This looks like about 3 mil. So 3-ply, 4-ply perhaps?
All of his drum shells are super thin, and one of the characteristic things about A&F drums is that they don't have an inner cut bearing edge.
Yep.
So they're just a straight edge with a rounded outer edge. So you're going to get it's going to conform more to the collar and have like sharp contact at the, at the top of the collar.
And now this looks like, can you see that?
They make their own snare wires as well.
Yeah, their own snare wires. That's pretty unique. Like there aren't too many. I mean, I know some of the big manufacturers have their own snare wires, but we're talking about boutique.
And they're making them.
They're making them themselves in factory.
Yeah.
So as far as drum making go, now I've made lots of drums in my life, but as far as drum making, there's a couple of things that set drum makers apart. You can have assembly lines, so people that just assemble drums, and you can have people that craft drums and make stuff in-house. And he's making this stuff. I've seen videos where he's turning the shells, like metal, welding them up.
Yep.
That's so cool.
And the thing about, boutique handmade drums, and he says this openly, they're imperfect.
Yeah.
They're not designed to be just your complete perfection, like,
like Sonor.
Or like high-end Japanese drums, like your high-end Tamas or stuff like that, where their attention to detail is like
this is not good enough. Out.
So the imperfections are, part of the character of the drum,
Yeah.
There's a gnarliness to them that you just want to, you just want to hit them.
I've met people like that.
And, this is just it's a super cool color.
That's beautiful.
It's just...
Give it a hit. What's that side sound like? Joking? That's awesome. Jackie, this kit, tell us about it.
This kit is also awesome. So this is the maple field kit. So it's a thin maple shell.
So field because of the hoops?
Yeah, because the wood hoops is kind of like the old kind of like...
Center point?
Yeah, center point lugs. You know, this kit was inspired by Levon Helm from the band. Yeah. One of my favorite drummers.
Sing a song from Levon Helm. I can't even say it. Sing us a song, Jackie.
Take a load off it.
Woo! Yeah.
That's it. That's all you're getting.
I like it. That's nice.
One of my favorite drummers, one of the greatest singing drummers of all time. Just a super cool band. They just, and one of his early kits that he used was much like this with the wood hoops. They're really deep wood hoops, so you do have to, alter your way of attacking the drums. You have to kind of attack a little bit higher rather than kind of, because you do have quite a lot of clearance to get to the head. Yeah. And you get a different sound with wood hoops. They're open. They've got like lots of tone. They're dry in certain ways, but you've got they're just a unique sound.
Awesome and fat, as we call A&F.
Awesome and fat.
Awesome and fat.
We were looking at a different kit earlier that it kind of lent itself to being tuned higher.
High, yep.
These drums sound, especially with wood hoops, sound great in the lower tuning. So lower, fatter, a bit more growl to them. Even the snare,
beautiful colour too. This is antique white.
Antique white with your natural maple hoops. Yeah. Raw brass hardware. Your leather under the badges.
What about the sizes, Jackie? The bass drum's obviously shallow.
It's a 22, but it's a 22 by 12. So
nice. Now, tell us about the difference between, say, 16 or 18 and a 12. What are we hearing that's different?
So what you've got is less air inside the drum that every time you strike the bass drum, you're pushing that air that's inside the drum. So with less air in there, with a shallower drum, it actually lowers the fundamental note. So you've actually got more bottom end. Yeah. A lot of people assume they need to go deeper to get
So if you want a fatter bottom, eat more food. No, shallow drum, really shallow drum.
Shallow drum.
Give it a hit. Let's hear how low.
With an open tone, it's going to have it's going to be, lots of note and lots of bottom. Here we go.
Yeah. It's got that. It's actually like you can feel it vibrating through the stage too. It's just.
And then and with a shallow drum as well, even though it doesn't have a porthole, it's going to still sound really nice when you dig in and kind of bury the beat. Let's hear that.
Yeah, that's good actually. Yeah.
When you get the little doubles, you get a bit of the growl from the first note.
Yeah.
It's a great size. 13 by 9. Yep. 16 by 16. So your classic,
Which always makes a floor tom growl nice, doesn't it? When
it gets good growl.
Which is probably one of the opposites with the kick drum. A shallower depth of kick drum gives a lower note. Yeah. But if you want the growl on your floor tom, you really need a bit more depth in it.
Just another cool thing with A&F is that he designs everything to be kind of interchangeable. So say for example this floor tom with your deeper hoops. You could leave this badge down on the ground. The super cool little vintage style kick drum spurs, you can take them out, put them in the floor tom leg holders.
Cool. So
and this becomes a bass drum.
That's sweet.
And then we'll talk in more detail about the hardware later, but the snare stand tilts at a 90-degree angle.
Yeah, right.
And you can get an attachment that attaches a bass drum pedal, and you can play a rack tom or a snare as a bass drum. So everything's interchangeable. He calls it the Lego of drums.
Yeah, nice.
Which is just super cool. It's all very simple design, very classic design. Like he's definitely taken a lot of old drums, old hardware, and kind of
them a bit.
Studied them, picked what he likes about it, what he doesn't like about it, and kind of made it, with modern playability. So
and we've got a couple at the back here.
A couple more kits,
Yeah, jump in close and have a look at some of that. So Rosewood?
So that's a Rosewood kit. That's a little kind of 18-inch bass drum, 12-inch rack, 14-inch floor tom.
Now I'm going to hit it. You won't really hear it in the mic, but you got to listen to this thing.
Yeah.
How low is that?
So that actual kit was featured on the A&F kind of reveal video live stream they did earlier in the year instead of like a NAMM show thing.
Right.
So that was that kit that's on, so if you look up A&F Rosewood and find the video of Rami demonstrating.
That's the one.
That's the exact kit.
Is this available at Mooloolaba Music?
These all are, yeah. So these are all.
So you can get all of these here?
Absolutely.
Nice.
And they're not cheap, but you are getting handmade in the USA with, handmade metal components.
So
which is,
why would someone buy an expensive kit as opposed to a cheapie?
Well, for one, the expensive kits they generally have a much higher quality of wood.
Yeah.
No, the tone woods they're using. So not all maples are created equal. Not all birches are equal.
No.
They're sourcing the best quality wood.
Yep.
Getting a machinist to make some lugs, that's not cheap.
Rather than just punching them out.
Rather than just, sourcing metal components from an Asian factory.
Yeah.
They're doing everything in-house, so it
kind of like
expensive.
guitars. Hey, like if we look at it, there's lots of acoustics around here all over the walls.
Yeah.
If we bought a cheapie, I don't know, $1,000, and then we bought one for 10,000, and we played the two, you would absolutely know the difference. So, I mean, okay, 10,000 or it's around 8.
They're kind of they range from around 5 to 10 grand.
Yeah.
Depending on which one. The Field is a little bit cheaper because you don't have the brass hoops.
Well, that's about one guitar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got $15,000-$16,000 guitars in here. And the thing is, you're getting something that's I like instruments that have had hands-on treat. They've been. You can tell that people have been making. Exactly.
Worked them. Not just assembled.
And it makes a huge difference. You can feel the character in these drums. And sitting behind a set like this versus a cheapie, I feel super inspired.
Yeah.
And that's the goal.
A good point, hey, because when you're playing this kind of drum set, you'd play things differently. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're getting something. The drum set's giving you something that you wouldn't normally.
And you play different types of grooves. You'll naturally, especially having to change your method of playing these drums because of the deep hoops. You're going to naturally play different grooves.
Yeah.
And they're just gorgeous.
And speaking of craftsmen, you were telling me about these cymbals.
Yes.
Have a look at these cymbals.
Byrne Cymbals. So they're out of the US as well.
Yep. So Byrne, is that last name, first name?
Last name. So Ray Byrne.
Ray Byrne.
He gets blank cymbals sent from Turkey.
Turkey. So now the difference between, say, Turkey and other manufacturing points would be, in your opinion?
That's where cymbals come from. It's
it's
the OG.
It's the home.
It's the home of cymbals. Turkish cymbals generally have a lot more kind of like life, a lot more kind of. There's a lot more complexity I find with them. And they're generally handcrafted.
Fairly unique.
Yeah,
would be working.
There's less consistency between. Say if you were to get the same model, 10 of them side by side, there's going to be more difference between them because they're more hands-on.
You got a higher chance of finding your real love. Hey?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the same with the drums. It's like you're getting unique individual kind of craftsmanship. So Ray Byrne, he gets the blank sent to him in the States. I believe he's in Ohio now. He used to be near Chicago, I believe, and now he's moved. And he hammers them, patinas them, lathes them.
So this, I think you said, has a patina on it.
Yep. So he's done a new kind of signature patina, and he calls
this is signature.
The signature series. If you zoom in,
let's have a look. Let's find a signature.
Let's find the signature. Where is it? So if you see the Byrne logo here, you can see just underneath he's done his signature. So that's
nice.
The kind of the new signature series. There aren't many of these out there. I haven't seen many any videos of these or photos. So these just turned up a few days ago. I'm really excited about them.
So when someone puts their name on something, it's got to be pretty good.
And we're the exclusive Byrne dealer in Australia. So this is the only place at Mooloolaba Music that you can get these.
Yep. Sweet.
So the signature series, they're quite washy. A lot of kind of complexity. You can see the hammering pattern. There's like a very unique hammering pattern, and a unique lathing pattern as well. So,
and you're saying they kind of gently take the crust off with the sanding method.
So light sanding on these, and they're just I'll play them a little bit.
Yeah, let's have some. Let's listen to some of the sounds. So 18.
I believe this is a 20.
20.
Yeah. So 20 crash ride. I mean, all of his models, he calls them cymbals rather than crash or ride.
I love that idea.
Because, they're designed to be whatever you want them to be, 20, you know, it's nice and washy. There's a lot of complexity going on.
It's quite dark too. It's got a nice.
But it's reasonably dry for what it is. And then you go to the 22 and it opens up even more, which I love.
And if you watch the edge, so with one of the cameras, just have a look at the edge and watch it wobble.
So even with just light playing, you're getting a good wobble. And then, so that's a gorgeous cymbal. A lot of complexity there. It feels a little thinner under the hand.
Did you
than
say
the
it was a 22?
That's a 22, yeah. And it's got a bit of a lower note to it, and you know, goes well with drums that are tuned lower. So
nice.
And then the 14 hat. They've got a bit of that paper thin vibe about them.
It's still got a bit of little chick to it too, doesn't it?
They sound great played with the foot.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things is that Ray Byrne and Rami Antoon have collaborated a bunch. So if you see any of the A&F cymbals that he offers, so the square crashes, the North Star, and all of the kind of oddity stuff that he does, they're all made by Ray Byrne.
Nice.
So they've collaborated.
What's that one over there?
That's also a new series. It's the Constellation series. So each cymbal it's quite raw, heavily hammered, you know, a little bit misshapen, and they've all got individual, like they're unique hole patterns, kind of designed to kind of seem like a constellation, so like a star system. Yeah.
A Pisces or a Libra.
And each cymbal is different. So this is a 20-inch Constellation crash, and it's you know, it's dry, trashy.
That's nice,
You know, so Byrne cymbals, they're super cool. Again, super unique.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell that these are handcrafted. You know, they're you know, they've had Ray's hands on them, and he's you know, done a brilliant job.
And it's kind of like, what I really like about these kinds of things is that I'm looking over there and I'm actually seeing the wave in the cymbal. And some people would look at it and go, hang on, it's not a perfectly flat or perfectly this. But it's actually, that's what makes the sound. If you go back to, remember Constantinople cymbals from Zildjian, way back. I've had a couple when I was a lot younger, and I could grab it and bend it in half, like almost right around, and it was all wobbly and and beaten up, and yet you hit the thing and it's like, whoa, that sounds incredible.
It doesn't matter what it looks like as long as it resonates to you.
And that's really the lesson. It's all about the ears and what an instrument gives you.
Just want to talk a little bit about the hardware as well.
Oh, yeah.
So A&F are doing hardware now, and some of the stands on this kit are A&F. So yeah, we'll take.
Yeah, you got to come in nice and close and have a look at this stuff. So this is really unique, and there's lots of little finishing details. Hey, I was looking at this before when Jackie was showing me. You can see it here. It's all stamped with A&F all around there. Beautifully machined, welded. Looks like all brass fittings. How cool are these little pieces?
So it's actually nickel. So this is nickel, these stands.
There's the top. So now here's a little trick. Normally when you undo it, they fall off, but they've actually got it so that it sits on there even loose. So when you undo it, it doesn't fall off, even though it's nice. Just really simple things.
So these are nickel stands. So he uses nickel because of that slight kind of, it's slightly yellowed and it's slightly darker than chrome. And, you know, they found that was, you know, it suited the style of the drums, that kind of vintage nature. I love the red felts. Yeah. And, you know, even like the little discs in there, you can replace them, you know. They sell them individually now, so if they crack, you know, you can replace it.
Lovely as. Now, also, tell me about the feet.
So the feet are super cool, and if you zoom in on them,
look at right at the bottom.
They've actually got ball joint feet, so if you're on an uneven stage, they're going to actually kind of they're going to level out, you know. So that's something
like a Riviera boat, maybe.
I've never seen that before, and it's super cool.
So, for example, even if like we're up there on this mic cable, it flattens it out.
Yeah.
So it's just the simple touches, but it's actually really nice.
Real simple design, lightweight, and just really well executed. They're gorgeous stands.
I call this kind of gear heirloom.
Yeah.
You know, it's the kind of stuff that you'd hand down and down.
Yeah. And, you know, it's just super cool design. Yeah, they rock.
It's pretty.
The snare stands, you know, they're super cool as well. They've got the same feet. You've got a few different heights of adjustment for the legs. You can have it fully flat. Yeah. You can have it angled. depending
And
on how
you said
what
90
need.
degrees, yeah?
Yeah, so you can tilt it 90 degrees, so you can have, you can be playing something as a bass drum or.
When you get a bit tired at the end of it,
And they do two models, so they do a larger model that can fit they do like
like an 18-inch
18
snare.
to 22-inch snares.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
they do some
very
really
unique,
cool,
isn't it?
odd size stuff. If you want anything that's like a little bit odd, get in touch. That we can ask Rami, and most of the time he'll say yes. He's up for the challenge.
I've seen some cool dampening things they've got for the bass drum too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So they've got the kick bone. We've got some somewhere in the shop, and they kind of clamp on to both hoops on the bass drum and sit on the resonant head, and they come with a few different attachments. So they teamed up with Big Fat Snare Drum to get like this kind of round disc with some jingles on it.
Yeah.
You've got like the same red, like a giant muffling,
I love the red. That's
muffling
really
pad.
cute.
It's just super classy looking.
Yeah.
And then you've also got some snare wires like cut in half.
Yeah.
That can like kind of dangle on the bass drum and just get like a bit of a snare sound. You can option these toms with as a snom, so you can get snares on the bottom. We actually had a Chandler Blue with and I optioned for the snom on that. That's already sold, and
nice.
They sounded super cool for that kind of second line funk thing. And
Yeah.
You know,
Beautiful.
we can talk all night about these, but
Let's have a
we
listen
should
to that.
hear them. So
And
as
then I'll jump on the lounge and you can play some stuff.
let's hear these beautiful A&F drums.
And listen to these cymbals and the differences in these cymbals too.
Yeah, and you'll hear, they go well with the low, the lowness of these drums. Like they suit that low tuning. They're fat.
Let's try the snare with the snares off. We'll listen to that one. Yeah, that's low.
It's like a rack tom.
off. Fat as. All right, I'm going to hop down and play something, Jackie. Nice. Snare sounds cracking out the front.
And really fat.
Oh, fat as.
These are
Awesome
fun.
and fat.
These are fun to play.
A&F.
The problem is every time I play one of the A&F kits, I want to take it home. And if you ask Phil the boss, I do take it home.
It sounds great, Jackie. I love it. Thanks for introducing this brand. This is really lovely. So all this stuff and these kits, you can all get those at Mooloolaba Music. We might see if we can get some links. People can just click on them. If you hear these things, so Signature 20, Signature 22,
Constellation 20,
Yep.
Constellation, Signature 14 hats.
Byrne Cymbals.
We've got some other, the vintage series are really great from Byrne. There's a new series called The Tribute, which we'll do a video in the upcoming, days.
Nice.
We'll do something on those. They're just awesome drums. It's funny when I first came into Mooloolaba Music, when when Phil was talking to me about brands, this was the first brand that I said, we got to get these.
Yeah.
You know, they're really hard to get in Australia. Let's just...
That's because they're all at your place, Jackie. No, so you got 3 kits. Just quickly before we tag off, what's this one here?
Oh, that one's another special bird. I like to get kits that are, you know, hard to come by and rare.
Yeah.
So that is a finish called Deco Gold.
Nice.
And it's a gorgeous kind of like, that kind of Art Deco era gold, a little bit of sparkle in it. That's actually a mahogany shell though. And they don't actually offer the Mahogany Club in Deco Gold.
Right, so it's very unique.
I begged and pleaded and convinced Rami to make a one-off for me in Deco Gold. So we've got that in a 22 by 12, and we've got it's 12 and 14, so 12 rack, 14 floor.
That's a great looking drum. I'm just going to grab it. Quick, you get yours and let's go. No.
But the gold is just gorgeous. I mean, and the mahogany is beautiful.
Look inside there. So that's lovely. And it looks like the hoops are matching too. Mahogany hoops.
Mahogany hoops. Yep.
With the gold inlay.
With the Deco Gold inlay. Yeah. You know, we didn't talk about the front skin. So you've got the A&F Drumco badge with the leather patch underneath. And that kind of, because he uses really thin.
Yep.
So that's an ambassador.
Yeah, nice.
Rezo, which is super thin. So that kind of acts as a little bit of muffling.
Yeah.
And,
which you can hear there.
Yeah. And it's just super cool, you know. It's like it's stapled onto the head.
And this has got the nickel. So this is the nickel finish.
Yes. You can see the other thing I optioned with this was I saw it on their website with the Deco Gold finish. That the polished nickel hardware looked
beautiful.
Awesome. And
hey, tell me, look, the slug here on the center points, it's actually got an insert too.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's one rod running through.
And there's a little tiny black, looks like a neoprene, or no, not neoprene, probably looks like an acrylic insert, which will help with vibration. Yeah. Just the very nice little details. It's really lovely.
Oh, it's just a beautiful drum.
This nickel's fantastic.
The nickel is like, it's shining, and then the claws, you get this patina on them, which is just goes really well with the mahogany, and it's they're just super cool.
That's lovely. So if you've got a singer who keeps touching your gear, this is the stuff to get.
The more rust, the better.
Yeah, and that looks beautiful.
That Rosewood is gorgeous. You know, every kit has its own unique personality.
Yeah,
and that's the joy of playing A&F Drumco. They're inspiring to play, and you know, they make me want to play differently, which is cool.
And yeah, you can tell that. You know, I'm hearing things that you're playing on this that I haven't heard you do on some other drum sets because it's giving you something back, and I guess that's the beauty with this kind of stuff. So, mate, that's awesome.
There's beauty
Jackie.
in imperfection, you know, and that's what these are.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So thank you, Rami.
Yeah, thank you, Rami, and thank you
for making these drums.
Thank you, Byrne Cymbals too, and Jackie. Thank you so much for sharing us, and big shout out to Mooloolaba Music for allowing us to come in and look around and just pick up some stuff and run with it as it sort of, you know, strikes our eye. And we're going to do a few more. What else you got there? You got a Tama.
We got some Tama. We got Gretsch.
That beautiful Tama one. What's that?
That is it's actually a Tama Star Babinga.
Babinga. Is it up on your site too?
It is.
It is.
Yeah, and it's a one of a kind. It's actually
sweet looking
Australian acacia outer ply, which is part of the Blackwood family, and the inner ply is a cordia. Oh, it's
that's a beautiful.
It's a work of art.
Yeah, it is. It's a lovely drum set.
Perfection.
Yeah, and it's a lovely looking kit too. Yeah. So, awesome. All right, guys. Well, that was Gear. I'm Tony Moore, Mr. Jackie Barnes. Thank you, Mooloolaba Music, and thank you, guys, Byrne Cymbals and A&F Drums.
A&F Drum
A&F Drum Co.
A&F Drum Co.
Yes, A&F Drum Co. Let's get that right. Awesome and fat. That's how I'm going to remember it.
Yes.
It's awesome. Thank you, guys. I'm Tony Moore. This is Killer Drums, and we'll catch you on the next one.